evening and welcome to Thai PBS World. The ongoing leaderless pro-democracy protest in Hong Kong is showing us how modern digital technology is shaping the way that young people are getting their voices and their grievances heard. In the third and last interview with Thai PBS World, Audrey Tang, the digital minister of Taiwan, believes that what is going on in Hong Kong is only the beginning of the trend. In the interview, she also talks about progress that Taiwan has made in the fight against disinformation or fake news. When you were in Bangkok the last time in June, you were talking about how you were fighting against fake news in Taiwan. You talk about the need to have an effective law, the timing response by authorities concerned, and then a common collaborative platform to deal with fake news. And I remember you saying that fighting fake news is something serious, but you need to do it with fun. How do you evaluate your performance in fighting with fake news so far?
Yeah, I think that this information strategy that we're pushing the clarification, the education, and the collaboration with the platforms has grown a lot since June. One of the large breakthrough comes with the adoption of the new basic education curriculum, which starts September this year. Since the introduction of media competency in even the first grade, the primary school, all the way to senior high and junior high, all of the creation from the students and teachers surprised us in that they discover a lot of interactive ways, maybe board games, maybe card games, maybe video games that teach students of how to become a good citizen in contributing to commons, in fact-checking, in reporting, in becoming a YouTuber and things like that. And so there's a lot of need also from the students who are becoming very popular YouTubers by themselves also want to learn basic journalistic standards so they can fit better with the existing media landscape instead of being seen as kind of outcasts, right? And so I think this need to learn and the willingness to share from the professional journalists has really democratized the newsmaking in the Taiwan society, and I think that's very heartening. And we're also now seeing in the elderly, for people who gather in the elderly care groups, in the community colleges, in the digital opportunity centers, and so on, the elderly are also benefiting from this newly developed curriculum on fact-checking and media literacy and media competence, because previously the elders in the line group in the family, sometimes they share, if you microwave this, it will lead to what, right? They only care about their grandchildren's health, right? But the grandchildren keep correcting them. So their social status may be lowered by sharing such disinformation. But now armed with a new section in Line Today in Taiwan, which is clarified information that are also a lot of fun, they can instead sharing the disinformation, they can share the clarification, which is also very funny, and they can share with their family and grandchildren, and their social status rises instead of goes down because of this new clarification material.
Okay. Can you say that you are making substantial progress?
Oh yeah, I think people are generally seeing this as something that people can participate.
Okay. All right, you were a hacker before you became politician. So how long have you been a politician now? For how many years now?
Well, I call myself a poetician because I mostly write poems. But in any case, I'm digital minister for 3 years now.
For 3 years now. How do you like your job and how do you like your role as a politician?
It's fun. Okay. So the idea is that I'm a minister that's horizontal. Instead of one particular ministry, my office is one person, one delegate from each ministry at most. So Taiwan has 32 vertical ministries, each with a vertical minister, and each minister can send one person to my office. So my office is a horizontal team with a lot of different coaches from the ministries of culture, of interior, communication, education, finance, law, and so on. And all of them represent a different value. So I really enjoy the culture our office has, which is working out loud, meaning that different different ministries can come up with new ideas, with petitions, of sandboxes, presidential hackathon, and so on, but they must also lobby across ministries to get funding, to get personnel, to get support, and especially the Foreign Service. The Foreign Service did not send anyone for the first year, but on the second year, they started sending people. And now the Foreign Service has learned that social innovation and civic participation is actually the best diplomatic strategy for Taiwan, because for Taiwan's public diplomacy, we have signed on the Sustainable Development Goals, and every other jurisdiction across the world also embraced the 17 goals. But for many goals, like for 2020 or 2025, we have to make broadband as human right. That's one of the goals. Taiwan has delivered on it long ago. So we have a lot of things that we can share with the entire international community, and this is basically the idea what we call Taiwan can help, which is to help everybody using the ministerial and also social innovations. So Foreign Service has been one of our most staunch participants. I heard that maybe a dozen people from Foreign Service want to sign on to join my office, but if 10 people join, we become a section in Foreign Service, so they have to take turns one by one.
We still can trust you, right? Even though you are a former hacker, right?
Of course, that's why
have you kicked the habit of snooping around people's computers?
No, I'm a civic hacker. A black hacker is somebody who snoops computers and make a profit. A white hat hacker is someone who snoops the network and report to the owner. And I'm a civic
for a good cause.
For a good cause, and I'm a civic hacker, meaning that I'm not snooping around network to look for vulnerability and loopholes. I'm building new networks that are free of the vulnerabilities of the old network. So I'm a builder. I'm not somebody who sniffs the vulnerability of the old system, either computational or political. So I'm not saying that I'm going to force the representative system to change. I'm building a new participatory system that doesn't suffer from the same problem of the old system.
I'm sure you must have followed the protests in Hong Kong. What does the whole thing tell you about the use of modern communication technologies in future civic political movement?
Yeah, well, I think back in the Sunflower Movement in 2014, there is already some thought about what we call leaderless movement. But at that time, it's not really leaderless. It's not really decentralized. It's rather multi-central. So when the students occupied the Taiwan Parliament in 2014, there are 20 or so NGOs, each taking care of one aspect and one part of the Occupy movement. That is good because instead of one leader, you have kind of 20 leaders. And if you take down all of them, of course the movement will go nowhere, but it's harder to take down 20 compared to one. And at that year, at the Umbrella movement, some people from those NGOs were in Hong Kong to share their experiences, of course not endorsed by government, they're just civil society. And then the Umbrella movement, I believe, learned from some of the experiences. But then again, it's not really leaderless, it's just a multi-leader network. But after 5 years, what we have witnessed on the streets of Hong Kong and the Telegram and Liandeng of Hong Kong is that there's easily thousands of leaders. Once you have thousands of leaders, it's impossible to shut down all of them anymore. And so I think they're much closer to the original idea of leaderless network as we envisioned back in 2014.
How do you see the situation in Hong Kong from Taiwan's perspective? How do you guess it's going to end?
Well, it's the beginning. I'm not thinking that there is necessarily the end, right? This kind of leaderless movement has a way to spread. So we have seen in Europe, for example, very recently, they're also using the hashtag #BeWaterMyFriend because there is no patent on hashtag #BeWater or hashtag #BeWaterMyFriend. This new way of leaderless or multi-central activity is going to be part of the key toolkit in all the different movements afterwards, ever afterward. It's just like how the original idea of a live-streamed multi-space, connected space movement, empower the original sunflower movement that has since spread. I think this new idea of a leaderless network of people who collaborate instead of working on particular factions. They're now just want this Be Water movement. I think that is going to shape social protests and social demonstrations ever afterwards. So that's why I said that Hong Kong is just the beginning. We're going to see more like that across the world.
And that's all for Thai PBS World tonight. Thank you for watching.